Hey everyone, Corrie here, coming in to do the monthly recording for February the 1st, 2023. I tried recording this yesterday and it just didn't come. Everything was disorganized. It's just like I couldn't grab onto the moving pieces and so much was happening. And I just knew it wasn't right. So I didn't want to let ego in. I wanted to truly trust this. And then I realized today was also that day of bringing in light into the dark. And so what I was actually recording yesterday was the essence of that. This is like the back end of in the Northern Hemisphere, this is like the back end of the winter seasons. And in the back end, it's truly about finding that essence of light in the dark. Like it's that essence of, here we are, this is where we hold on to hope. This is where we begin to have this sense of, or this is where we start to realize hope becomes this sense of faith that things are really coming. Like we see the next season, we're that much closer to the next season. Your weather may be warming up or changing. You may feel that shift in yourself or a sense of enthusiasm because you know, if you look at the calendar, that you have spring coming. We know there's another season. In the beginning of the winter season, it's like we kind of get lost in that feeling of, oh God, well, first there's an excitement and then there's blah, and then it's all darkness. Well, now light is extending. And so we're in that point of where light is expanding, extending. And so this is the symbolic. And so I myself did my ceremony this morning and set up my ceremony. And then I replanted another ceremony that I just reset for this to set the intention. And so allowing this to be the light of our day, to allow this to be the energy. And of course, this comes in the sense of, from what I can understand, to the best of my knowledge, this is, into a place of fertility. So imagining the seeds that we planted last year, kind of starting to, in the dark, what we can't see happening. So, it's that the seeds are breaking open and things are already working their way, like they're coiling out, like the little piece of green is coiling itself out. Well, kind of like life, right? It's like you can't see the things that are happening under the ground. And I'm going to refer to what I know best, what I know from all of my experience, and that is hair. Hair has 3 stages of growth. And so it comes from the hair follicle, and you have the stage that you see. We have this stage, and then we have the stage of new growth that is just breaking through. And then we have the stage that is underneath that. And what happens when people say, oh, my hair is falling out, like when I comb my hair, it's falling out. Well, no, it literally is old hair is falling out so that new hair can come in. There's new growth. And so this new growth has been growing enough underneath until it can reach that place to break through that follicle and come out and through. And so I often hear, women say, oh, I got all of these baby hair. No, you have regrowth. And so this is all this new growth and all this new growth of hair that's coming in. And so there's new growth. And so it's the same thing. Best way I can describe it for you is that this is a season where we have this new growth that is not all the way in the light, but it realizes the light is coming. It knows the days are coming again. It is called having a faith and a knowing that things just happen because it is a cycle. And that's how nature works. Nature works in the sense of knowing that things are just happening because they're meant to happen. Like it's the flow of life. And so we may have all of these magnetic little pieces out there now that are starting to get these extensions that are attaching to us, connecting to us, that are for our future. And this is a time of being able to see ourselves. And this is why ceremonies are often so important, is so that you can truly allow yourself the time with you to realize how much of, when we're running on empty air, when we're running on imposter light, when we're running with our shadows, when we're running with our ego and our darkness and our fears and our insecurities, our need to be in control, is that we don't see, or it's almost impossible to see, what else is transpiring on our behalf. And so then when something doesn't work out and things don't go as planned and it feels dark and it feels blah, and you feel like you're being abandoned and left out, you don't realize that there's actually something working very much at the forefront for your highest good, something that's just so much better and working out. And sometimes those things that are happening within us and through are saying that something is not working, and we have to explore that deeper. And so we find our way and our essence into discovering those things, learning those things, knowing those things about ourselves, when we allow ourselves to get to that place of just exploration, becoming curious. And so this little seedling that's underneath the ground right now is, it's already in its moving stages. So we don't often realize that we are in a moving stage. You think you're dormant, you're waiting for the right time, because that's the human way of thinking, is that, oh, I'm just waiting for the moment, waiting for this time. But all the things that are being prepared and done underneath is that it's already at work. What is meant to be yours is already at work. What's meant to be is already in the process of happening. So things are happening. What you have to become is magnetic. You have to become that magnetic love. You have to take that leap. So it's like quantum leaping. You have to take that leap into, and you have to heal that emotional self, evolving the emotions, emotional, spiritual maturity, growth. One of the main things that I work on now in my work is to truly be able to become the person that can magnetically attach to what is waiting for you, to what is out there, to those moving pieces, so that you can take those fragmented pieces of you that are your treasures, and you can grab them even from the past without having to exist in the past. Take those pieces and bring them forward and create and bring into creation this next, truest, best life for you for the next season. It doesn't mean it's going to be the next best you for the rest of your life. And that's where we get so mixed up. We believe that who we are becoming has to be the one that is for your forever. But what is forever? Forever is only until there is the end. And then it's the next. It's like a breath. A breath is in a moment, in that it's that one breath, but its connection to source is eternal, right? And so your moments, you only have this moment as you're human, but your soul has so many more moments than you have. And so the you that is trying to control. So if you trust the soul journey and you trust what is sprouting from the soul, if you trust the extensions that is happening in the energy around you as you cleanse, as you clean it up, as you reorganize your thoughts, as you clear out the clutter and make space and room for you, all of these extensions that are happening inside, outside, plug in, connect, and they are able to help you step more and more into what is waiting to be a breakthrough, what is waiting to break out. And so this breakthrough, breakout, growth, expansion, evolution, all depends on one person. It's you. And sometimes, it's not such a pretty sight, a pretty journey to take. Like, it's not always that it's beautiful to get there, but it's like the seed. It's like we watch this in those National Geographic shows and movies, and we watch it in nature shows. And it's like they play this most beautiful music as the seed is like slowly breaking out, or as the flower, each petal is opening and blossoming. They play all this music. Well, how do you know it's not meeting its challenges? How do you know it's not, there's not some sense of like, ouch, ouch. So if you give it a voice and go, ow, that stung. Ow, that hurt. Ow. Oh shit. Oh, you mean I'm tired. I don't want to go any further, but you got to break through the ground. So give it like a commentary of a comic relief of seeing the seed, the flower, the tree, seeing everything as nature, as that breaking out and breaking through, but giving it some sort of like realistic human sense of self. And then you can see yourself as that seed. You can see yourself as that evolving growth of things. It's like, ow, yeah, that shit hurt. And so for myself, I too have been the last few days, like really finding myself like having to release one of my biggest challenges. And from my past and from my energy and how I respond. And I call her the drama queen, And so it was the end, it was the death of the drama queen, but she wasn't the drama queen. She's actually my pain body. And so when the pain body, so when things that are being suppressed, words I need to say, experiences that I don't want to have to face, I don't want to have to deal with, and I put them off, and then the pain in my body, everything in the nervous system gets triggered, and then everything just like explodes like a volcano, and it just erupts. And that's when that queenie energy comes flying out, and she's like the biggest pain in the ass. But it's the person that hurts the most from it is always the sense of self, but it's a breakthrough, right? And so in that moment is things that have to happen, that should have happened. It could have gone easier if I dealt with them early enough. But when you don't deal with them early enough, then this is what happens. But when you're trying to be too kind and you're trying to be too nice, or you don't want to have to face truths, you don't want to have to deal with anything, if you're avoiding, and we all have those moments and experiences in our lives. And those are the things that we speak about, cleaning up the clutter. This is the things about cleaning house. It is so important to keep our sacred space clean and clear. And when we know us, we know when our shadows are being reactivated. And so it's not about killing off those parts of ourselves. It is about neutralizing. It is about bringing it to a place of where you can neutralize that energy, so that the version of you that is coming to the light can walk into the light and can handle and deal with what is at bay, what you're looking at, what you're seeing, what is important to you, and who needs to deal with it, right? Who needs to deal with this situation? Who needs to make these changes? And who's those changes for? And everything that you start to clear, resolve, release, let go, then make space for what is magnetically supposed to be coming in, attaching to that truest version of you. I'm listening, by the way. And so this, wondering where's she going? And so this energy is also saying, so remember, everything that you negatively hold on to from your past, everything that's having this hold on you, everything that's grabbing onto you, everything that's staying, that you're allowing to be there, that is not in the sense of serving your highest good, that has not, that the things that have been not neutralized, you will be bringing in those fragments and those magnetic pieces that then attract, right? Likeness, we attract likeness. So what is that likeness? And here's our beautiful seed inside of ourselves. And here's here's the rays of the sun of our light that's shining in upon it. And that seed and all the sprouts and the energy of that light is all trying to meet each other, to keep coming up so that it can expand and grow and just grow and extend. And it's trying to do this for us, so that we can be this sense of larger than life in our own way. We truly have to recognize what is what is that forever? And it's for a season. So what is my next season to bring? Maybe the next season feels like it's a baby step into what may be down the road. It may be a year from now, maybe 2 years. But if you don't keep making steps towards what you're here to become in the future, then it's like, how do you get there? Right? So every seed that plants a tree or a flower until there's a forest, or until there's a flower garden, right? Until there is enough that it makes it look like a great big luscious scenery, and it all has value, and it all serves a purpose, just like the flying of the birds and the butterflies and all of those things. You don't really process this thought that when their wings flap, there's a vibrational frequency, there's a movement that is happening, right? They are creating movement. And so when they do, there's a cause and effect, right? And so all of these little whispers of energy that go out, then that moves the energy. So energy moves. You're looking at the butterfly and you're in amazement of the butterfly, but what else is happening with the butterfly? What else is happening with the seed? What is happening within you that you cannot see? So the more time you spend with you, the more you clean the clutter, the more that you allow yourself to heal this month, because this is what this month is about. The more that you can start from here and let yourself just fully be prepared and ready for what else is to come, the more that the higher the possibility that you stepping in and not trying to do catch up or missing out on what will be coming within the next seasons, right? So preparing, becoming the magnetic self, connecting to those pieces, bringing those pieces home, just knowing that something is happening, that now there is more light, the light is shining, there's more light than there is dark, and bring that into, the more we are healed, the more that what we bring online is our light body, our evolved archetypes, and there is less of our shadows, there's less of our darkness, there's less of our crappy behavior, there's less of our old habits, and we start to create new, and we start to bring in new. And that's what they're really truly bringing forth for February for you. And that's their biggest message that they have. Now, also we do have in the expansion of energy, this is all the butterfly beautiful things, we have that expansion of energy of really truly, we have a lot of still cleaning house, and we have been calling this forever, of everything we are seeing happening in all of these, in the falling of empires, of these big narcissistic egotistical energies kind of finding their way to have to really truly be humbled, and praying and hoping that they learn through that humility. I don't wish the worst upon anyone. I hope people find their way back to their light. And when people find their way back to the light, their most challenging times can sometimes become the greatest story that can inspire others. And that's the truth. But there is a fall that is just like those fall from graces. Like as we see it, it's hitting hard and they're seeing a big impact. But remember, behind some of those things that when people fall is the power of people who should be falling with them, but are determined to sink them. Right. So it's like somebody has to take the fall for what is really happening. So you're seeing somebody take the fall, but you're also seeing the exposure of false light. And I really want to bring that one in, because that's one they're bringing in, is that false light, Jezebel light, those that harm, those that cause that harm to people, it's being exposed. And I know we are just seeing one of those cases here in our own province and in Alberta, and seeing, that sense of somebody being finally, speaking the truth about what happened to them and their experiences with somebody who was proclaiming to be, of light. And so that, and I don't want to judge it, don't want to get involved in that, but just that there is the sense of that coming up in big ways and being exposed so that truth can be revealed. So whether it is right, whether it is wrong, it's like, so that truth can be revealed, so that real truth can come to the light. And those that are true light workers and true authentic light find their way, and true authentic light never judges another light. So we don't know exactly who that light is all the time, and unless you know it in your heart, right? You just know it. And so what they're telling me and how they're giving this to me is, some seek celebrity, some seek to be loved, some seek to be the priority, some seek God complex. Others seek, how do they put this? Others seek to just be of service, to just be able to share the excitement of sharing. Were you a child who, no matter what you had, loved to share? To just be able to, if you had something new, you couldn't wait to bring it outside to share with your friends. You couldn't wait to give that out. You couldn't wait to take your new marbles outside and share them. And then you get home, realize you didn't have near as many marbles as when you went out because they all disappeared. But were you that child? Were you that energy? Were you that one? Or were you just like, I don't want anyone else to play with my stuff? And no judgment here. It don't mean that you're not a light worker or you're not good. It just means that, that sense of self within us, that sense of enthusiasm and excitement, and that love for the world and the love for people is what is often the driving force, and the connection to the divine, of course, and that strong connection to our divine self. And so if it's a love, it's the power of love or the love of power, which one is the greatest, right? And but it can be so confusing. And the love of power can use the power of manipulation, the power of deceit, and to be able to play on those with the hope, the love, the light within, and the love for to be able to use that. And I feel like that's where you're seeing that energy being able to make a big shift and a big change in the coming months. Hugely. We see it, we're seeing it even in politics, we're seeing it in big places where, but remember, those who don't want secrets exposed will have a fall person, right? So they'll expose one, they'll sacrifice one to save all. But should we really be sacrificing anybody at this day and age? No, probably not. The only thing we should be sacrificing is our shadow. And it's not even that we sacrifice our shadow, we let our shadow walk with us to heal, to learn, to grow. So those things are happening within the world, and we are witnessing them. We've been calling forever. We said this would be an unfolding of these times so that we can move into a sense of authenticity, of true light, of real love and light, so that we push back the Jezebel energy. We push back that sense of the darkness, so that even what's in our minds, how our minds can have such a powerful control, how you could turn your neighbor into an enemy. I feel like we're shifting from that mind and back into the heart, and just getting really clear on what really is the most important to us. What matters, what really matters. And everybody matters. People matter. And so it's back to a sense of discernment, dignity for humanity. And as we step into this time of dignity for humanity, it begins with showing ourselves dignity, love, and respect, and that we have to respect the most divine essence within ourselves and becoming that magnet of absolute love, letting that love and light shine into our lives and being present with that in our world. And with that, we also have a strong sense of the angels are here. And I just feel like we have the father of angels is what I keep getting, the father of angels that is here with us. And we just have this, it's like truly follow that sense of follow the light, follow the passion, follow that sense of desire. You may complain about what you have to clean up around you, and it may seem like a lot of work, but when you start doing it, you'd be surprised on what treasures you find. You'd be surprised on what you discover in those places. And so finding support, finding mentors, finding what matters, all very important. So I asked for a card. We got the 3 of Autumn, mind, body, soul connection, right? This is when, fall is when things start to die off, start to leave. So we have this sense of when you start to truly get connected to the magnetic love, it's not that you got to try to make your past disappear, not that you got to try to force yourself into a healing. You just know that it is happening for you. The seed is planted. The happiness and joy is already sprouting. The magnet of love is already magnetically connecting to all things that are love and light for you. You just have to know that you are making space to allow removing the clutter and letting the old fall away so that you can come here, because we're in the back end of winter. We're in the back end of that season, and new things are happening. We're giving birth to the thought and the idea and the sense of faith and hope that beautiful days are coming. Beautiful things are coming into play, and just the sense of flow. I feel the flow. We may be seeing a lot of high winds this month. We may be noticing a lot of, high winds that are just like blowing things around. Also coming with some water. I see a lot of water, probably more of rain than snow. But just like, or if you get snow, it like rains, but it feels like things are really warming up, and I feel this warmth that is happening. And so in this time, even though the light's happening, it doesn't mean taking action means you run out. It's a good time to be silent, to be still. And it's just preparing for when the next season comes, because I feel like the next seasons will be busy. So we have the Hermit card, and this is the mentor, going within and this inner journey. So this inner journey to really truly discover that the seed is really moving, growing, just letting it get itself to the surface and just trusting that this is a time of great spiritual awakening, good time to really get yourself involved into some spiritual teachings if you've been thinking about it for a while, to be able to, really truly know that what it is about is being the best human being that we can be, and that our human really matters, all humans matter, and life matters. And I just pray the whole world finds its way into a place of living in love and light and being kind. Man, it goes a long way. So much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful month, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.